am quite scared of going on the Thames. We're about to be proper boaters and go on big rivers.
There it is, River Thames.
So we think we're now on the Wolvercote Mill stream, heading towards the River Isis and then onto the River Thames. It's very out in the middle of nowhere here, and there's literally no boats, there's no towpath or anything. It kind of feels like we've just taken a wrong turn and now it's just going to get shallower and we're going to get stuck and then realise that we did take a wrong turn and we're just in a field.
It's so beautiful though. Okay, we feel better now that there's other boats and it's not just us that's gotten lost.
There's a sign that says danger and it's scaring me.
So we haven't got the anchor out yet. We're planning on doing it at Thrupp just as a precaution. We forgot, and then we was like, oh, it'll be okay because we're going to do it at Oxford, and we didn't realise that like the River Isis was like a huge one where we probably also need the anchor. Like I thought it was just kind of like the Soar, where it was like a canal but kind of like a river. So we're a little bit scared, but it's only like hopefully not very far at all until we get onto the Thames, and then we can get the anchor out. Oh, okay. So it wouldn't have been worst case scenario if we accidentally went that way. So I was telling us to go to that way, and Blubber just got his map out and was like, no, it's the other way. That way is to Lechlade, which we do want to go eventually, just not right now. We need to go this way.
So what is this, the Thames then? Mm-hmm. This is the Thames?
No, This is the Isis. No? Okay, I feel better now we're here because there's a lock landing and we can get the anchor out. It's all good. It's fine.
I think we might be on the Thames now. Our first big river lock. There's a lockkeeper on, he's really lovely and he's talking to Amy and hopefully telling her good things. But it's really scary because the lock's so big. It's not even one of the big ones.
Someone has to be on the front as well.
Yeah. It's huge, isn't it? We're really shy, even though they're really nice. So we've sort of accidentally left Blubber to do our first ever Thames lock in a method that we've never had to do before with a wheel. They are really nice, though. Yeah. There's steps. You got it? Careful. The steps may be slippery. You got it?
Thanks. We made it onto the Thames!
Hooray!
Oh.
The first thing we did immediately after the lock is turn down a weir because there's no signs. But luckily, Blub was quick on the maps and we're heading the right way now.
What are we gonna do when you go home, Blubber?
I'm gonna get stranded somewhere.
How does it feel driving on the Thames?
It's really weird because we've been so scared of rivers, as anyone knows. The only other experience we've had is on the Trent at various points in the winter where it was really fast, the flow was really intense, and we crashed. But there's like basically no flow. But it's quite easy. How's it feel, Amy?
Nice! It's so pretty, it's so wide. And we did it!
We're doing axle boating. About to do our first solo lock because all the lockies are done for the day. I think we've just about sussed what's going on. Here we go. Made it through our first lock unscathed. It was a bit scary, but we did it, and now we're just out in the middle of the nowhere on the Thames.
We're going past Port Meadows at the moment. It's so wide, and we're going to try and moor on Port Meadows a little bit closer towards Oxford. We hopefully have a little swim tonight.
We can see Oxford in the distance. It's very surreal.
We asked the lockkeeper about the anchor, and he was like, oh, you're absolutely fine. You probably don't even need it if you're not going on the tidal section. So that's fine. We feel way less stressed now. So finding a mooring is so stressful because it's just like, here? We're just going to try and go here.
There are no signs. We tried to look for a bit of guidance as well, and there isn't any.
And there's a narrowboat there on like a similar bit, so we're just going to do that.
Oh yeah, also we don't have a gangplank, but we've got an old bit of wood. This is stressful, Amy.
I don't like the nettles.
Yeah, there's loads of nettles everywhere.
Out of the way. I'm trying it.
Good luck.
Oh my god, move!
Is Thames life as glamorous as you'd hoped? She's free.
I'm off the boat. Okay, give me the rope.
You've done it.
That's it? Yeah.
Mooring on rivers is hard.
Come on.
So we've just about managed to kind of tie a rope to that tree. And we sort of got one on the front. And now the only other job is to trim the foliage. Amy's got trusty shears out. But has to balance on the gunwale because there's water down there.
Put the thing across.
Careful. Oh.
Surely we don't have to do this every time.
Feel free to leave as many tips as you like in the comments because we clearly don't have a clue what we're doing.
It literally looks like it's floating.
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it? It's so clear.
We're pros at getting off now. Come on, Blubber, demonstrate.
Whoa!
Easy! Look at our little boat and its adventure mooring.
Look at all the nettle.
All the nettles. Easy! So we've been cruising for 5 days? Is it 5 days?
Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, 4 days.
So we've been cruising for 4 days and we've pretty much done like 9-10 hour days all 4 days. And we made it to Oxford. So now to celebrate, because we're on the River Thames, we're going swimming.
This is my summer tan. Courtesy of 4.5 days of solid cruising in the sun. How is it, Amy?
Go on, Wes, you just have to go for it. Is it better? Ever so graceful. In the wild. Look how clear the water is. This is the water line, and there underneath the water is the bottom of our boat, and there's little fishies on it. as Wes was back at work, me and Blubber decided to check out Oxford. It's a really cool place with loads to see and do. Going on a tour of this place. We've got our little guides, headphones. This is where Harry Potter was filmed. So cool, isn't it? We had a really cool time exploring the city.
But as it was Blub's last day, we took him back to the train station, waved him off, and returned to our little crew of 4.
Bye.
Just trying to keep this little bunny cool. I've just wet his little ears and head and he's just chilling. The last heat wave was much better. We weren't really anticipating this one. It wasn't really on the news that much. There was just rumours of it. And the last one we were able to get in the shade, so the boat wasn't half as hot. This time, when it gets to about 4 o'clock, the sun is right on the boat. We've got all the blinds shut, but I'm just cooling the boys down. And the final boy.
Ah! Ah!
You were the most dramatic out of all 3 of them.
It's all dripping! We've just walked Blub off to the station. Now all of our friends have gone home. We've had such a nice time, but the UK's in another heat wave this week. We've just come back to this section of river to have a little evening swim after work and cool off.
We're making the most of the Thames lifestyle, just swimming in the river. You refreshed, Wes?
Yeah, that's so nice.
Do you think it'll be a regular thing after work?
It's just so nice being able to just properly cool off.
We're also just so happy because we made it to the Thames for summer. This is where we've been planning on coming since January. We've been so excited to do this. We're just chilling now. We don't really have far to go on the Thames. We're just kind of bopping up and down the non-tidal section and just relaxing and enjoying summer.
Pros at it now.
Good morning, it's Saturday and we are going into the town. We're having a shopping day today and just doing some sightseeing, basically make the most of being in a city centre.
We also went out for a little date night last night, which was really nice. We didn't get back till about 11, but it still felt super safe.
There's a lot of movement on the rivers today as well, it's busy. Getting some lunch from the market. Cheers. Wes hasn't had a bao bun in years and he loves them.
Amy's trying a drink thing.
Oh, it's nice. Really nice and there's an amazing view, but it was £12 for just 2 Pepsi Maxes. No alcohol or anything.
Not even a Pepsi Max, it's a Diet Coke. We've been chilling back at the boat for a little bit after our day of shopping, making sure the pet's all right, and now that it's cooled down, we're making the most of being in a city and going to Junkyard Golf. It's Sunday morning. Is it morning?
My watch is on upside down.
It's the last day of the heat wave as well. There's a Sunday market and we're going to go out while the boat is in the shade because the boat doesn't really get in the sun till sort of later in the afternoon, which gives us time to explore without having to worry about the pets. And then after that, then we'll look at doing the facilities and moving the boat.
Kind of nervous because we haven't been further than like one particular bridge. We don't know what the moorings are like and all the rules are completely different than on the canals. So we're going to check out a spot because when I was walking around I saw some narrowboats. So I was like, narrowboats! So we're going to check that out and maybe we'll try more there.
Some of the bridges here are low.
I could stand up behind them. Just. That might be the best cookie I've actually ever had. Make sure you check them out. Ben's Cookies in the market. Oh, so good.
Amy's finally found a shop that sells a water shoes, which she has been dying to have since, pretty much since the end of winter. So we can go in the Thames without cutting our feet on glass.
There's loads of rocks and there's also glass and weeds and stuff, so.
Just a bit safer, isn't it? Time for more food. We've gone to a little local Italian cafe.
Guess what we've done? Excuse the shirtless Wes.
Hey, I'm wearing a white vest, I'll have you know.
It's time to move on and to try and get the boat off. The issue is the rope is attached here and somewhere in that tree.
Also, our friend Blub left the centre line in the middle of the boat.
Thanks, Blub.
That's all the stinging nettles.
You're right in there, Wes.
Yeah. Just trying to avoid getting stung by these very stinging nettles.
And we're off! Our first mooring on the River Thames was successful. We moored right near Port Meadows and it was gorgeous. Now we're going to try and moor somewhere in the city centre. We need to do facilities. We don't know if they're still going to be open because it's currently 5 o'clock. So we're just going to have a look and see. But we just need to find a spot with internet now. It's so nice to just do an evening cruise when it's not blistering hot.
And it's the first time we've cruised since we had friends on our own.
So it's exciting. It's so weird. like cruising past swimmers. We have to like keep making sure we're checking because we forget. It's just like something that you have to think about on the rivers that you don't on the canals.
Sunday evening. Just going to do a little 20-minute cruise down to the facilities, do the facilities, and then find somewhere to moor up. And the facilities marked on the map do not exist. They have never existed. They don't even come close to existing. There's not even a water point or anything. So we spent ages going down this one-way, very narrow bit past loads of permanently moored boats, only to then have to reverse immediately because there was nothing down there. And then one of our lovely subscribers on Beam Serendipity told us that the nearest one is actually in Abingdon, which is about 8 miles away. And we don't really have a choice because we really need to empty the Elson and we really need some water because obviously we've been showering a lot and everything from it being really hot. So it looks like we're going on an 8-mile cruise to Abingdon now. So our map app told us that there was facilities down there and then didn't tell us about the lock. We bumbled our way through the lock, but they're still confusing because they're all automated and fancy and we don't understand them. We got through it and we don't really know now because we can sort of see a bit of a marina, but there's only river cruisers in there and we don't know if they generally use Elson. Don't know how to get in there either. We've only got one Nicholson guide and it says Oxford, but it only does the top half of Oxford. The rest is in book 7, which we don't own.
So far, you could say our time on the river is going terribly.
Just going past everyone having their dinner. We're on the way to the next town.
So this is where we were hoping to moor, on this beautiful little stretch. There's the city centre. It would have been perfect. But instead, the map was wrong, so we've got to cruise 3 hours down the river just to empty our toilet.
Why can't we have just a nice short cruise for once?
Also, it's really frustrating because we were so prepared. Well, we thought we were so prepared. We looked at the map this morning, we're like, right, there's a facilities there, we'll moor there. We were trying to be really prepared. And then when we got there, the facilities just didn't exist.
I promise we planned. We're just going past all the rowing clubs. It's really interesting to see. They've all got their different crests and they've got just garages full of them. For anyone who doesn't know, Oxford is one of the really big names in the rowing world. I think every year they do a rowing race between Oxford and Cambridge, which are basically 2 rival universities who are both really good at rowing.
It's so pretty around here. This is such a pretty lock. Rufus, careful. Oh, good boy. We thought the engine sounded a little bit angry, so Wes is just checking the weed hatch. And all of this was stuck around the propeller. This evening is going from bad to worse. We've got about an hour until sunset to get to Abingdon. It's about an hour and a half away.
Weeds are off, engine sounds less angry, so I'm assuming it was that. It's just one of those moments where it's such a beautiful bit of river, like it's absolutely gorgeous and it's so nice to cruise down. When you're already stressed and there's all these little things just racking up that you didn't expect that are just having a knock-on effect, it really does make the whole situation very stressful. So it's just like, oh, another lock that we didn't know, or the facilities aren't there, so we've got to change all our plans, and oh, now there's something stuck around the weed hatch. Like, as much as we love this way of life, there are so many little stresses that come with it that just hit you at any point.
And it's another one of those situations where one small thing that's not marked or in a wrong place can just mess everything up, because it's not like it's like, oh, there's no facilities here, we can go 10 minutes down the road. It's 3 hours or so between each facilities.
There's no guarantee that they're even there or working when we get there.
Right, really? Right.
Well, we started hearing a new noise in the engine bay, and that was the last straw because we were really stressed anyway, and the sun has pretty much set. So we've moored on a field where there's good internet.
We're probably about an hour away from Abingdon, but we're gonna moor here tonight and tackle it tomorrow after work when we're less stressed and overwhelmed.
Just one of those like really stressful things. It's like one small thing, something being marked wrong on a map, throws your whole plan off for the whole subsequent week, because we were supposed to do the facilities and then continue mooring in Oxford and then carry on just exploring and enjoying being in the city. And because of that, we haven't got food. We were planning on doing laundry. So now we're just out in the middle of nowhere for some amount of time.
But it's a beautiful spot.
It is.
So it's hard to stay mad for long.
We just need to eat some plain pasta and calm down. And it wouldn't be so annoying if Oxford wasn't such a cool place, because we absolutely love it there. It's been really amazing staying here, and we wanted to stay there for longer. And now...
Back to the usual schedule content. Wow. It reminds me of Fly Away Home, one of my favourite movies.
Hey, 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 hey.
It's raining loads.
Oh my goodness.
Thank you so much for watching our first venture onto the rivers. Great big thank you to VP, Holly and Misty for the chips this week. And make sure if you haven't already, you check out our socials, Boat Time UK.